Listen. So we started yesterday the new lesson called the proposal. It's a Russian story about two neighbors. Okay, Chukumov and Lomov. Right. So let me just briefly summarize you the introduction part. Okay, so there were two families, right? So they were Chubukov and Lomov. Okay, so these are Russian names, so little bit unfamiliar to you. So Chubukov is both Chubukov and Lomov were wealthy families. They were business class people, and Lomov, okay, who is a neighbor of Chubukov, came down to request for the marriage. Okay, request for his marriage. Lomov means here the junior Lomov, like the senior Lomov nahi unka beta actually. Okay, his son Lomov came to request the senior Chubukov, okay, for a proposal of marriage for his daughter. So junior Lomov came to request Chubukov for his daughter's marriage, okay, for the proposal of his daughter's marriage with him, right? So Chubukov became very happy when Lomov came to his house, and he was also very happy when he came to know that Lomov has come to seek hand in marriage of his daughter Natalia. Okay, the name of the daughter of Chubukov is Natalia. So now you shall find that Chubukov has gone inside to call his daughter Natalia, so that Natalia can have some conversation with Lomov. Okay, because Lomov has come for the purpose of proposal for the marriage. Her father, that is Chubukov, has become agreed. He has agreed to the proposal, and now he wants his daughter to have some interaction with Lomov. Okay, and let's see when she comes for the interaction with Lomov, what kind of interaction takes place between them. Okay, so in the meantime, page number 147. In the meantime, what happens? You see, I shall begin from the end of 145, Lomov's statement. Okay, dialogue. So in the meantime, when Chubukov departs to call his daughter Natalia, what happens? Lomov is thinking something. Okay, so what is he thinking? Let's find out. Page number 145, towards the end of the page, you see, it's cold, I'm trembling all over, just as if I got an examination before me. The great thing is, I must have my mind made up. I must have my mind made up. If I give myself time to think, to hesitate, to talk a lot, to look for an ideal or for real love, then I'll never get married. Because Lomov thinks that he's already over 35 and he has got some physical complication, like he has the problem of rapid unstable heartbeat. Okay, so that is why he thinks that Natalia would be better for me, because I cannot afford to wait. Okay, if I wait, then I may not end up being married any day. Therefore he is thinking, okay, to go ahead with Natalia in case she agrees. And then page 46, it's 7. It's called Natalia Stepanovna is an excellent housekeeper. So now Lomov goes on to appreciate Natalia, saying that she is an excellent housekeeper, not bad looking, well educated as well. Okay, what more do I want? What more do I want? Because she is well educated and excellent housekeeper as well, right? but I am getting a noise in my ears from excitement. Means I am getting excited. Okay, drinks, and then he starts drinking, and it's impossible for me not to marry. In the first place, I am already 35. Okay, he said I am already 35, therefore it's high time for me, so I should not postpone or defer the prospect of my marriage. A critical age, so to speak. And in the second place, I ought to lead a quiet and regular life, because now that I have already attained 35 years of age, therefore I need to settle down in family life, therefore I cannot afford to wait now. I suffer from palpitation. So this is what I was talking about. Palpitation means here a rapid heart pulse rate, okay, heart rate. Rapid and irregular pulse rate is called here palpitations. I am excitable and always getting awfully upset. At this very moment, my lips are trembling and there is a twitch in my right eyebrow. But the very worst of all is the way I sleep. I no sooner get into bed and begin to go off when suddenly something in my left side gives a pull, and I can feel it in my shoulder and hand. Okay, he says that the main problem for me is like as soon as I go to bed, okay, there's a pull from the right side of my body. Okay, there's a twitch, it's called twitch or pull. Yeah. So I immediately get up. I cannot sleep. Okay, it seems that my right side always has a tendency of twitching. Okay, now you see. I jump up like a lunatic. Lunatic means a mad person. Lunatic, walk about a bit and lie down again. But as soon as I begin to get off to sleep, there's another pull. Okay, and this may happen 20 times, right? So he has got some problem with his body. So he says that if this particular problem persists, it might persist for as many as 20 times. Okay, at night. So that is where I have some problem, and he said he has got problem with palpitations as well. And by the time Natalia Stepanovna, her full name, comes in. Okay, so let's see the interaction now between Natalia and Lomov. Natalia says, well, there it's you, and Papa said, go, there's a merchant come for his goods. How do you do, Ivan Vasilevich? So his name is Ivan Vasilevich Lomov. Okay, so here we will call him in short Lomov. So Natalia said, my father reported to me that a merchant has come to meet me, but how come it's you? Okay, it's you. How are you? How do you do, Ivan Vasilevich? Okay, Ivan Vasilevich is the name of Lomov. Okay, the full name is Ivan Vasilevich Lomov. Okay, so next Lomov says, how do you do, honored Natalia Stepanovna? Okay, so in a respectful manner he also greets Natalia. Okay, then Natalia says, you must excuse my apron and neglige. Neglige is a kind of a night gown actually. Okay, you must excuse my apron and neglige. It means that Natalia means to say that Lomov must excuse her for her informal casual dress. Okay, so we are shelling peas for drying. Okay, they were shelling peas outside the courtyard for drying in the sun. So that is why she was wearing apron. Okay, so that is the reason why she was in the casual wear, and she says that for this reason Lomov should excuse her. Okay, why haven't you been here for such a long time? Sit down. Okay, then they sit, both of them sit together. Won't you have some lunch? Lomov says, no, thank you, I have had some already. So I've had my food already, so please thank you for offering me lunch. Natalia says, then smoke, here are the matches. The weather is splendid now, but yesterday it was so wet that the workman didn't do anything all day. How much hay have you stacked? Just think, I felt greedy and had a whole field stacked. Just think, I felt greedy and had a whole field cart, and how now I am not at all pleased about it, because I am afraid my hay may rot. So it was a season might be to gather the crops, okay, to cart the crops, okay, and make a pile up of the hay. Okay, so Natalia says, the previous day I got it cut the entire stack, okay, entire crops, and as a result of the rainfall, okay, some of the crops might be rotting now. So it was a wrong decision. Sorry, it was a wrong decision on my part. Okay, it was a wrong decision on my part to have cut the grains, okay, or the crops, because it was raining. Okay, after I finished cutting the grains or the crops, it started raining, so the entire stack might get rot now. Okay, so she is regretting about her own action of cutting the crops in the field. Okay, maybe it was a season of cutting, but somehow suddenly the rain came. So as a result, this is what she is explaining to Lomov now. Okay, so see here, why you are in evening, then you see, because I am afraid my hay may rot. Okay, she is saying, I ought to have waited a bit, I should have waited little bit. But what is this? Why you are in evening dress? Why are you in evening dress? Okay, he is asking. Well, I never, no, she's asking, okay, but what's this? Why are you in formal evening dress? She was asking to Lomov, okay. Now, are you going to a ball or what? Ball means a party. Are you going to a party or what? Then, though I must say you look better, tell me why are you got up like that? Here, Natalia wants to inquire from Lomov what was the reason for which he has come to their house in a formal attire. Okay, he has come to their house in a formal attire. Why has he reported to their house in a formal attire? So Natalia asks the reason for it. Okay, now you see, Lomov became excited and he said, you see, honored Natalia Stevanovna, the fact is I have made up my mind to ask you to hear me out. Of course you will be surprised and perhaps even angry, but... And then he went aside and said, it's awfully cold. Okay, now Lomov says, tells Natalia, if you come to know about the purpose of my visit, you might be angry, okay, but I shall of course tell you the reason as to why I am in this formal attire and why I have come to meet you. Okay, now Natalia says, what is the matter? Well, then Lomov says, I shall try to be brief. I shall try to be brief. You must know, honored Natalia Stevanovna, that I have long since my childhood, in fact, sorry. Where?
How much hay have you stacked?
Stacked means piled up. Okay, आपने कितना pile up करके रखा है? Okay. I'll change your place. Okay. Next, you see. Now, Lomov, you will see, Lomov will start appreciating Natalia and her family now in his speech. My late aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. The Lomovs and the Chubukovs have always had the most friendly, and I might always say the most affectionate regard for each other. Lomov is appreciating, okay, their relation, their family relations. Okay, they are neighbors, so their family relations. Lomov said we had so much of good relation. We respected each other, and we have the privilege, okay, to know each other, and we have the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. The Lomovs and the Chubukovs had always been most friendly, and I might almost say the most affectionate regard for each other. Regard means respect. And as you know, my land is near neighbor of yours, and our lands are also near each other. Okay, you will remember that my oxen meadows touch your birch woods. Okay, now there the conflict will start. Okay, when Lomov says, my oxen meadows, meadows so you might be knowing like say land, okay, full of grass, green grass, that is meadows. So my oxen meadows touch your birch woods. Birch wood means it's a sort of a forest, small type of forest with birch trees, a kind of a tree. So when Lomov says, our oxen meadows touch your birch woods, then Nathalia caught him, okay, saying, excuse my interrupting you. You say my oxen meadows, but are they yours? They are not yours. Oxen meadows, the land which you are talking about, claiming that it is yours, is not yours. In fact, it is ours. Oxen meadows is ours. Now say, yes, mine. Nathalia, what are you talking about? Oxen meadows are ours, not yours. Lomov says, no, mine, honored Nathalia Stepanovna. Oxen meadows belong to us, not yours. Now let's see how does he justify that it is his. Okay. Now Nathalia says, well, I never knew that before. How do you make that out? How do you come to know that oxen meadows is yours? How? Lomov says, I am speaking of those oxen meadows which are waste in between your birch woods and the burned marsh. Yes, they are ours. Nathalia says, they are ours. Lomov says, no, you are mistaken, honored Nathalia Stepanovna, they are mine. Nathalia says, just think, Ivan Vachilovich, how long have they been yours? Lomov says, how long? As long as I can remember. Nathalia says, really? You won't get me to believe that. You won't get me to believe that oxen meadows are yours. Okay. Now the main argument will start. You see what happens later. Lomov now starts giving some kind of defense, okay, by showing the document. Let's see here. But you can see from the documents, honored Nathalia Stepanovna, oxen meadows, it's true, were once the subject of dispute. But now everybody knows that they are mine. Oxen meadows, the land that you are claiming to be yours, of course, was a land of dispute. Was a land of dispute for quite some time. Okay, but then it came to us. That is what Lomov says. Once this land was a land of dispute between us, but afterwards this land came to us. Okay. So now let's see how far he goes on to justify it. Okay. Then he says, there is nothing to argue about. You see the main reason he is giving now, Lomov. Just listen. You see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuity. In perpetuity means for a long period of time, to the peasants of your father's grandfather. Okay. Means long time ago, Lomov says, okay, my aunt's grandmother gave this piece of land to your father's grandfather, okay, to the peasants of your father's grandfather, for the peasants or the farmers to cultivate in our land.
Yes.
Okay, it was given as a rent, it was given for some use by the peasants, but it was not sold to you. That is what it means to say. Okay, you see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuity to the peasants of your father's grandfather, in return for which they were to make bricks for her. Okay, in return they had to make bricks for her. The peasants belonging to your father's father had the free use of the meadows for 40 years. For 40 years, the peasants made use of this land, okay, and then they started regarding these oxen meadows as theirs. No, it was basically oxen meadows was given to your family, okay, for the use of the farmers, okay, and it was in use by your farmers for 40 years, okay, but it doesn't mean that this land has become yours. Nathalia says, no, it isn't like that. Both grandfather and grandmother reckoned that their land extended to burnt marsh, which means that oxen meadows were ours. Natalia doesn't agree with Lomov, saying that no. Okay? I don't see what there is to argue about. It's simply silly. Then Lomov says, I'll show you the documents, Natalia Stevanovna. Natalia says, no, you are simply joking or making fun of me. What a surprise. We have had the land for nearly 300 years. And then we are suddenly told that it isn't ours. Natalia says, this land, Oxen Meadows, has been with us for nearly 300 years. And then suddenly you are claiming that it is yours. Ivan Basilevich, I can hardly believe my own ears. These meadows aren't worth much to me. They only come to 5 desiatins. Desiatins means sort of a measurement, okay, of value like money, okay. She says, this land will hardly cost us 300 rubles. It's Russian currency, okay, 300 rubles. But it's not about money or the valuation of the land. It's about the integrity. It is about the integrity of the land. It belongs to us, not yours. Okay? Even though this land doesn't cost a fortune, this land doesn't cost much. Okay, it cost hardly 300 rubles. But I can't stand unfairness. Say what you will. I can't stand unfairness. He says, I can't stand unfairness. Okay? Lomov says, hear me out. I implore you. Implore you means, I implore you means I pray to you. Okay? I implore you means I pray to you, the peasants of your father's grandfather, as I have already had the honor of explaining to you, used to bake bricks for my aunt's grandmother. Now my aunt's grandmother wishing to make them a pleasant or something, no? Pleasant. I can't make head or tail of what you are saying. Of all these aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers, the meadows are ours, that's all. Lomov says, no, it's mine. Natalia, ours, you can go on proving it for 2 days on, and you can go and put on 15 dress jackets, but I tell you, they are ours. I don't want anything of yours, and I don't want to give anything of mine, so there. Natalia says, see, 15 dress jackets means here, you can wear similar dress many times, like what you have put on, but still you cannot convince me that Oxen Meadows is yours, okay? It was with us for nearly 300 years, and I don't understand your logic of grandfather, grandmother, that I don't understand, but this land has been in our possession for many years. That is why this is our land. Okay? Lomov says, no, it's mine. Now Lomov says, Natalia Stevanovna, I don't want the meadows, but I am acting on principle. If you like, I'll make you a present of them. If you want, I can give you the land. Okay, but I'm talking on the principle. Okay, talking about principle. Okay, means I'm talking about the integrity of the land. Okay, as far as I know, as far as I believe, this is my land. If you want, I can give you as a gift, but in principle, I mean to say that it is my land. I'll make you present of them. Then see, what does Natalia says? Natalia says, I can make you present of them myself because they are mine. Your behavior, Ivan Bachilevich, is strange to say the least. Up to this, we have always thought of you as a good neighbor, a friend. Last year, we lent you our thrashing machine. Although on that account, we had to put off our own thrashing till November. But you have to us as if we were gypsies, giving me my own land indeed. No, really, that's not at all neighborly. In my opinion, it's even impudent if you want to know. Something that which you are claiming is not correct. Then you make out that I am a land grabber. Madam, never in my life have I grabbed anybody's anybody else's land. He says, and I shan't allow anybody, and I shall not allow anybody to accuse me of having done so. Steps to the carafe and drinks more water. Oxen meadows are mine. Natalia, it's not true, they are ours. But Lomov says they are mine. Lomov is not in a position to accept. Both of them are not in a position to accept that they don't belong to one another. Okay, so wait here. See page number 148. I shall continue from 149 next class. Okay. Thank you so much. Wait.